Hey guys, it's Comics G-Man, and we're going to do a bit of a news reading today. So let's see what's going on with the news. Got some stories today, maybe not have some stories. Alright, let's look at Superman first. See what's going on in the world of Superman, okay? Nothing new there. 3 hours ago, My Adventures with Superman creators talked darker, hard-hitting, midpoint. Really? Okay, well, we all know my reaction to episode 5, so let's see what the creators are talking about on this show. Jake Wyatt and Brendan Clogger discussed the latest action-heavy episode of My Adventures with Superman heading into heavier territory. Last week's My Adventure with Superman was a light affair that brought in John Kent, Clark, and Lois' time-traveling son from the future. Now we're at a major junction of the season. It's time to get serious and kick things up a notch. Right. Spoilers! The death of Superman, named after the 1992 comic event broadly inspiring the overall season, sees Clark, Kara, and John go blow for blow against Hank Henshaw, Cyber Superman. Having broken himself out of Lex Luthor's control, Henshaw is free to wreak havoc and unleash all of his anti-alien anger on the three Kryptonians. If they lose, John's present is set in stone. Henshaw will destroy the planet, create an army of machines to rule over what's left, and eventually kill Clark, Lois, and Kara. Unlike its predecessors, this is the first adventure season to be specifically picked up by Adult Swim instead of just airing on Cartoon Network's late-night block. As small of a difference as it sounds, the show gets to carry itself differently and deliver an action-heavy 22 minutes with not much in the way of levity. The fuck? The fuck? Did this guy watch the same show I watched? Henshaw is really gunning to kill the Supers or anyone else in his way here and get some enjoyment out of pummeling them or watching kryptonite cover Clark and Kara's bodies like an infection. Oh, that's so hot. The escalation makes for a darker episode, but not in a way that betrays what the show is. Bro, these guys who make the articles, bro, they're fucking busting my balls. I'm telling you, dude. Like, they're saying the exact opposite of what I'm thinking. A darker episode, but not in a way that betrays what the show is. As it betrays what the show fucking is. Our first 2 seasons were made for families, but when Adult Swim picked us up, we knew we'd have a bit more freedom, explained co-showrunner Jake Wyatt. When IO9 interviewed Wyatt and Brendan Clogger, the series' other showrunner, the pair noted that freedom included getting to indulge in more modern romance tropes. Blah. The worst part of this season so far, like apps and self-sabotage, and do a tone shift they consider inevitable. Do you give a fuck about any of that? I sure don't. We didn't get orders to make the show more adult, but this was always the journey we wanted for our characters, continued Wyatt. As we broke and wrote the season, we knew our heroes would struggle with their future and fear and be outgunned in a way they've never been. We had to write the season from a genuine, emotional place, and that through line became more real and grounded. Dude, what are you talking about, bro? Brainiac literally just fucking destroyed the entire planet in 2 seconds in season 2. Like, by that much, dude. Like, it was over. It was like, what do you mean? What do you mean? This Cyber Superman fight was nothing. Like, they defeated him already. Like, it was nothing compared to what happened in season 2. I mean, Brainiac turned Supergirl into a genocidal murderer. What are you talking about for family? That was pretty adult shit. What are you talking about? Alright, let's go on. Let's go on. We didn't get orders to... we already read that, right? I was over here. I'm sorry. If the previous seasons of My Adventures with Superman were about love, Clogger said this season's about fear of the future. Wow. Wow. So interesting. So original. Once the writing team settled on that thread, they used it to guide them on who to include. particularly those from the adapted Death of and Reign of Superman arcs. We wanted anyone who could make our core cast feel threatened in a specific and personal way, or who would have had the most severe effect on them. Henshaw definitely fits the bill. But that severe effect the showrunners mentioned cuts both ways. After Superman rips the kryptonite out of him, Hank sets his heart to explode in the hopes that it takes his enemies and the city with him. It's only when he learns John is half-human that he's stopped, shattered by the revelation that he truly won't be the man who bridges the gap between humanity and space. I mean, yeah, like, that scene was so, like, wait, what? It was like, what the fuck? When they showed him, like, floating in space, like, I was supposed to be the guy floating in space, bringing in those people from Earth to go towards space. Like, okay, the fuck? Like, what? Am I supposed to feel something now for Hank? I'm not feeling it. I'm supposed to be the future, but they chose you, the aliens. Henshaw says in shock. They made peace with you, fell in love with you. You're the future now. His imagination of history moving on without him is enough to make him cry and, more importantly, shut down just seconds before the countdown finishes. The fuck? Henshaw may be gone, but the super family isn't. Since he maxed out his powers during the last leg of their fight, Clark's now powerless. That's already a problem, but it doesn't help that the dark future isn't fully averted. The episode ends with a look at John Lane instead of Kent, captured by Lex, who's taken over the world in this timeline and is controlling an army of robots. I'm sorry, let me go back to reading. You'll have to watch the rest to see how that all unfolds. The second half of the season hasn't been in any of the promos before now. But it probably goes without saying that Clark and the others are in for some tough times ahead. Tough times ahead, my boy. They don't know tough times ahead until they've been in a goddamn depression, motherfucker. Motherfucker. Alright, any comments on this? Jimmy better lock in and be honest with himself and Kara. Facts. Yes. Sigh. Yeah. Oh no. Right. Alright, so nothing hard-hitting here. Nothing hard-hitting here. But yeah, they better stop that shit with Jimmy. I think Jimmy already fucking earned his place in the show. Way past time. He doesn't need to prove himself to nobody. I mean, come on. He did all that shit in Season 2, Season 1. What the hell? Why are you demeaning Jimmy Olsen? He's fine. He doesn't need to prove himself. I mean, yeah, it's fine that he's a little insecure, wanting to be in love with the Supergirl. But that love enough should be enough to kind of, give him the confidence to go forward. But no, you can't give us that. Fuck you. Alright, let's go on here. Let's go on. Why Richard Donner felt casting Christopher Reeve as Superman hurt the actor's career. You guys want to hear about that? I don't know. Let's see. I guess they're probably going to say that he was worried that he would end up like the other guy who played Superman and killed himself. I don't want to go over that. My Adventures with Superman proves that the death of Superman was more than a sales stunt. What do you mean? What do you mean? The 5th episode, 3rd season, makes its aims known right at the start. The episode begins with a title screen that displays the words, "The Death of Superman," with blood dripping down the iconic S shield. These guys writing these articles are acting like this is the best thing they ever made. This was not the best episode I've ever seen. I'm so confused right now. DC heavily promoted the storyline that saw Superman sacrifice himself to stop the monstrous doomsday, so that newspapers, local broadcasts, and mainstream magazines disseminated the picture. As one would expect, My Adventures with Superman takes a unique approach to the story. As in the comic, jealousy drives astronaut Hank Henshaw to become the Cyber Superman, and Superman gets help from Superboy to stop him. But the cartoon skips over Doomsday, thankfully, I'll give them that, entirely in this telling, leaves Steel off the board and only gestures towards the Eradicator in Henshaw's design. By playing with the concept while changing even important details, My Adventures shows that Death of Superman has transcended its original intentions to be a defining quality of the Man of Steel as a character. Can you explain that more to me, please? I am completely lost. How is this a defining moment for Superman? The death of Superman stems from a problem faced by the editors in DC Comics' Superman division back in the 90s. They may be in charge of the first and most important hero, but he was always a superhero that had grown unfashionable. I guess. The ABC series Lois and Clark, The New Adventures of Superman, gave the Man of Steel a hip primetime makeover. The fuck? Did you watch the same show that I watched? With Terry Hatcher playing a modern Lois Lane and then a then unproblematic Dean Cain as a Clark Kent who shopped at Mervyn's. No, look, I am fully aware of all the shit Dean Cain has said about Millie Alcock. I don't agree with it. Don't give a shit about his politics, like, just to be clear here. And I remember he did some stunt about joining ICE or something. Stupid. Fucking stupid shit to stay relevant, right? But I do hate when people say this. A then unproblematic Dean Cain. I mean, like, only a fucking snob talks like that about people. I'm not saying he doesn't deserve shit. Don't get me wrong. But, I mean, I hate when people use this word. Problematic. Unproblematic. It's like, what are you, fucking gay? We're human beings, man. People are going to say shit, not say shit. What are you trying to say? Alright, so they go on. Dean Cain is a Clark Kent who shopped at Marvin's, whatever. DC Comics had postponed its plans to join Lois and Clark in holy matrimony until the TV show counterparts did the same, hoping to generate some synergistic buzz. Makes sense, but let's be frank, dude. The Lois and Clark TV show was shit. That show was shit. I don't care what anybody said. I mean, look, I liked it. It was funny. It was bad funny, you know? It was, but it's shit. Okay? Anybody at the time who was trying to synergistically connect that with the comics, you're mistaken. Because the show is nothing. Not even a little bit like the comics. It sucks. Even Terry Hatcher, who I love, she did the best she could do with that script. But it sucks. Are there people who think I'm wrong? You actually think that the Lois and Clark show is a good show from the 1990s? Questionable. Debatable. Alright, let's go on. Even back when Superman finally died fighting the monster Doomsday in 92, Superman number 25, nobody thought it would last. The death of Superman immediately gave way to the funeral for a friend. I have one of those issues hanging up with Supergirl walking out of the memorial, the coffin, the cemetery. You know that famous one? It's one out of four stories. I have that one hanging up on the other side of the pillar there. Which in turn led into Reign of Superman. By the time that story closed in October of 93, the original OG Superman was back, albeit with a period-appropriate mullet. More importantly, from DC's standpoint, that's like the Grant Morrison design, right? And Superman comics spiked in sales. Such stunts are hardly new. The first company-wide crossover, something discussed in this week's comics newsletter, Marvel Superhero Secret Wars, was designed explicitly to help sell action figures. Well, you know, in the 80s and 90s, action figures were way bigger than they are now. So that makes a lot of sense. Like now, are action figures even considered? I mean, yeah, we got the McFarlane lines that are do their thing, but like, is that even a consideration anymore? Like, as big as it was in the 80s and 90s, I mean. Anybody got anything to say about that? Characters are redesigned and changed to match the actors who play them in film and television, as seen when Marvel changed Nick Fury from a grizzled old white guy to a hip bald black man. Well, first of all, they did that because in the Ultimate series, the Michael Bendis series, Michael Bendis changed Nick Fury to that, but that's in the Ultimate series. I don't... Or Agatha Harkness was transformed from a crone to a sassy middle-aged woman, who, that actress was really good. She did a good job. You gotta give her that. And the death of Superman worked so well that DC started killing or removing all of its major characters to replace them with different versions. Batman's back was broken, Nightfall, Green Lantern turned evil, Artemis became the new Wonder Woman, and Green Arrow blew up in a plane. In short, these are cash grabs, marketing techniques driving stories, but My Adventures with Superman proves that it's not all they are. However craven the original intentions, these stories have sparked something in the audience, making them worthy of revisiting and adapting. I'm sorry, dude. As bad as the 90s was, they're way better than what they're doing in this season 3. I don't know what this guy's talking about. My Adventures with Superman is a perfect example in the show's telling. The battle is about who belongs on Earth, the foreigner Superman or the human Hank Henshaw. I'm so tired of that. I'm so tired of that plot line. Like, it's getting old, guys. The fight speaks to our time when, here we go, when xenophobia and nationalism have been encouraged and legitimized by those in power, while staying true to Superman's core as an immigrant story. Alright, look, first of all, Superman 2025 did this way better without... I don't know, dude. It did it way better than what they're saying here. By swapping the clone Superboy of the original story with the modern Superboy, John Kent, the son of Clark and Lois, the story also becomes about overcoming fear, letting the next generation succeed you, and fighting for a better tomorrow. I guess. I mean, it doesn't feel as deep as it should be. My Adventures with Superman is hardly the only series to revisit the death of Superman. In addition to various animated movies that adapted the story, it appears in Season 8 of Smallville, Justice League cartoon episode Hereafter, Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice, Justice League, Joss Whedon and Zack Snyder, the CW Crisis on Infinite Earths crossover, which was and the third and fourth seasons of Superman and Lois, which I did not watch. I did not like Superman and Lois. I don't know why people like that. I like the actor. He's a good guy, but it's like with the twins and everything, I wasn't feeling it. Infamously, it was going to be the main plot in the Tim Burton-helmed Nicolas Cage starring Superman Lives, and even the comics have revisited the storyline, most famously in the way it killed off the new 52 Superman. Why do storytellers keep coming back to the death of Superman? It's not to boost sales or ratings. Instead, it's because the story gets at the fundamental truth of Superman. He's good not because he's the strongest or because he's got nothing to fear. No shit. He's good because he wants to help and protect others, even when those powers fail him. I mean, yeah. Okay, this is not anything revolutionary. This guy writing the article is like, as he's writing, it's like, wow! Holy shit! I just fucking realized what Superman is. Whoa! Holy shit! He continues to stand by his values and save others to the moment of his death. Wow, what fucking superhero doesn't? And like all great fantasies, not even death is the end, and as the story always ends with Superman coming back to life to continue his never-ending battle, who fucking wrote this? Who fucking wrote this? Joe George. Joe George. The fuck, bro? Were you just born yesterday? Let's see any comments in here. One comment. Superman's death occurred in Superman number 75. Get wrecked. Get corrected, Joe George. Would you look that up with AI? Alright, guys, let's get off of this shit about My Adventures of Superman. They're really trying to pump this. Oh, look at this. Superman and Supergirl are having some of their best adventures on TV right now. Are they really? Are they really? Holy shit. They're really trying to pump this shit up. And their current big screen counterparts can't keep up. Oh, really? 2025 Summer of Superman got an unofficial sequel this year, with the Man of Steel popping up in his cousin Supergirl's not-quite standalone film, and returning for a new batch of adventures on Adult Swim. There are even more super-related projects coming to theaters soon enough. But the return of My Adventures with Superman, which is halfway through its third season, makes one thing very clear. Right now, the small screen takes on these particular superheroes have their big screen counterparts built. My Adventures with Superman premiered in 23, nearly 2 years before James Gunn launched the new DC Cinematic Universe. Season 1 was a charming showcase for Clark Kent, Lois Lane, Jimmy Olsen, and other Metropolis residents, as it was for Superman, who was still fairly green despite regularly defending the cities from all manner of threats. Showrunners Jack Wyatt, Brendan Clogger, and Josie Campbell showed us the iconic hero through the eyes of those closest to and most envious of the Man of Steel. But their biggest ambition early on was depicting Superman, one of the oldest and squarest superheroes, through the lens of shonen anime. Squarest? Look, he's only square if you're not a fucking Superman fan. If you're a fucking Superman fan, Superman is anything but fucking square. Fuck you. Quaid, who was pulling double comic series duty as a series regular on The Boys, was able to make both Clark and Superman his own, in part by making them so similar to each other. At this point in his life, their lives, Superman is the alter ego and Clark is still very much figuring out how to be a hero while... Oh yeah, blah 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 blah. Blah 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 blah, dude. I'm so sick of these people, man. Just get on with it. Get on with it. Let's see the comments here. That'll be fun. Well, look at this. Joe G. Then why the fuck won't Warner Bros. Release Season 2 on disc? Great question, dude. Because they only got Season 1 on DVD. They don't even have that on Blu-ray still. Why? Nothing much to add for this excellent write-up other than it's nice to see Maz get some love. Whatever. Kara on this show is an absolute joy. And Kiana Madeira's performance is just incredible. I agree, but it could be better. Season 2 was phenomenal. Season 3, no. The medium is a major factor here. Television is just a better vehicle for telling superhero stories, and I mean actual TV, not this 8-hour movie streaming slop. I agree. No, Kim is correct. To date, Avengers Earth's Mightiest Heroes is the only truly great Avengers adaptation we've had. Yes, it is. That's a great show. That's the 2010 one. But I actually do like the 2013 Avengers. But the 2010 to 2012 animated Avengers TV show, guys, if you have not watched that, that's peak Avengers, bro. It's like the fucking comics. It's fantastic. But the 2013 to 2018 Avengers TV show, animated, that's more like the MCU, that's not bad either. That's not bad. That gets a lot of shit, that show. But that's not bad either. I like that one a lot, too. Not as good as 2010 animated series, but it's really good. Not as bad as people will tell you. But yeah, alright, let's see. I loved how the Arrowverse could do so much with their DC heroes, especially Legends of Tomorrow and Supergirl. That doesn't stop me from enjoying the movies, but the time to develop characters and build stakes on a 20-episode season gave TV a major advantage. Yes, it did. And DC animation has been brilliant for years. Forget The Boys. Harley Quinn has been the best superhero parody since The Tick. I agree. I love Harley Quinn, the TV show. Every time I bring it up, people are, oh, Harley Quinn's fucking stupid. That show's fucking stupid. Alright, man. That's fine. I get it. I like Harley Quinn. I love that TV show through and through. I think it's great. I dropped off Harley Quinn around the time they seemingly rolled back all the Joker's interesting development for a disappointing status quo return. Plus, the show overall had gotten a bit too loud and fast for me, which is a horrible sentence to write out because I feel old now. But God, those first few seasons were magic. Yeah, they were. They were. I'm glad there's other people who feel that way about Harley Quinn TV show. I like that show a lot, too. Making the Brain and Monsieur Mallah lovers is one of the best ideas Grant Morrison has come up with, and he's done a lot of great things. Yeah, dude, that was hilarious. Alright, that's enough with the Superman news. Let's see what's going on with Supergirl. Big day today. A lot of articles to read. I did see some stuff on here. Let's see. Alright, 6 days ago. 1 day ago. Box office update. $290 million DCU movie, Supergirl, heads for just $130 million worldwide. Still there. Let's see. 1 hour ago. I'm not surprised. Supergirl is a $170 million box office bomb. James Gunn got the DCU all wrong from the start. Whatever. Supergirl tumbles out of top 5 with 3.5 million weekend 3 box office. Yeah. Alright, and one last segment I want to look into. DCU news. I saw an interesting article today while I was at work. This one here I thought was pretty interesting. Rumored DCU Batman actor Tom Brittney responds to chatter about casting and looks kinda guilty. Nope. James Gunn confirms the 8th chapter in DCU's Gods and Monsters slate. So we can't take this totally at face value, because we all know a lot of stuff that they wanted to do in the beginning of the Gods and Monsters story never came to fruition, like the Amanda Waller TV show. Few other stuff didn't happen. But let's just see what he's talking about. So they're showing you stuff in order, right? Chapter 1, Creature Commandos. Chapter 2, Superman. Chapter 3, Peacemaker. Season 2, Chapter 4, Supergirl. Chapter 5, Lanterns, which I'm looking forward to watching Lanterns. I don't know how other people are feeling about it. I think at least the acting should be good. Chapter 6, next year, Man of Tomorrow. Chapter 7, Clayface. And Chapter 8, what does it say? It doesn't say anything. I'm not holding my breath. We will see all of that now. After Supergirl bombing, I have very little confidence in this version of DC. Warner Bros. Is a complete trash. Why did you break them down in chapters? They are all Chapter 1. Chapter 2 is still like 8 years away at this point. Holy fuck. Damn. Will they even make it to 8 years at this rate? Holy shit. Well, I did read on this article, it said that they are working on Season 2. Season 2 will be coming out next year of Creature Commandos. Looking forward to that. Man of Tomorrow, cautiously looking forward to that. But yeah, wow. Clayface, I'm sure it'll be good. I mean, they didn't put that much towards it. I think they'll make it. We'll see, though, dude. We'll see. So yeah, that concludes our news reading for today. Thank you for listening. Thank you for hanging out with us. We are Snyder Bros. No, I'm kidding. Alright, guys, so like, subscribe, comment as you see fit. Have a good rest of your night.